to the online family program coming to you from the Sunshine Coast Health Centre. My name is Sarah and I'm one of the counselors here. So we decided that instead of doing a series this time, we'd answer some of the great questions that you guys have been sending in. So this week I'm answering the question about drinking habit. So somebody wanted to know, how do you tell the difference between a drinking habit and a problem? So before I answer this question, I'm going to say that I'm assuming that by problem you mean addiction. So how do you tell the difference between a bad habit and an addiction? Well, actually, it's not all that easy because there are some similarities. So one of the easy ways to assess an addiction is what we call the 3 C's. And so we look at compulsion, control, and consequences. And so a bad habit can have actually 2 out of these 3. So you think about, if you've got a bad habit of eating lots of chocolate. So if you recognize this, you'll recognize that you can have the compulsion to eat the chocolate. You can lack control in how much of that chocolate that you eat. But where it changes from a bad habit to an addiction is in the consequences. So it's very unlikely that eating chocolate is going to land you in jail, or that you're going to lose your wife, or these kinds of things. And so that's really the big difference. So in an addiction, as compared to a bad habit, when somebody develops an addiction, their number one relationship shifts from their loved ones to the addiction. And so this can be seen in the repercussions, because they're no longer living up to their obligations and responsibilities in relationship. And so that's wherein the consequences come. So, I'll give you an example. So for drinking, so somebody could be drinking, and if they have a bad habit and they are caught with a DUI, somebody with a bad habit would probably, obviously they'd stop drinking and driving, and they'd probably cut down on their drinking, and they'd be more careful. Like, they would take that as kind of a wake-up call. But somebody with an addiction wouldn't stop. So somebody with addiction does not stop despite bad consequences. So they could lose their wife and they won't stop drinking. They could lose their house and they won't stop drinking. There doesn't seem to be much that will stop them. And that's really what the difference is between a bad habit and an addiction. So I hope that's been helpful for you, and please do send in more questions. We'd love to answer them, and I'll see you again next time with another great question. Thanks.